promoting dialogue.
It's May Day in Dakar, 1 o'clock in Lagos. Good afternoon and many thanks for staying tuned to West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and around the world on wadr.org. Welcome to Newslink. Here are the top stories. Ruling PASTEF secures 130 seats in provincial results of Senegal's parliamentary elections.
African Patriots of Senegal for Work, Ethics and Fraternity PASTEF, 1,991,770 votes, representing 54.97%, wins 29 seats.
Liberian House Speaker Kofa takes majority block to Supreme Court against his remover from office. The Gambia's Navy intercepts suspected migrant boat from Senegal with over 90 people on board to Europe.
The Navy patrol team, as they were on their routine activities, were able to intercept a boat that had been at sea for almost about 20 good days. And migrants had been staying there, and they were looking for all efforts to have more migrants to join them in this particular boat.
And Finnish court detains Nigerian separatist leader Simon Ekpa over terrorism threats. Please stay tuned for details of these stories and more.
Here is Augustine Coley with Newslink.
Many thanks for joining our broadcast and welcome to our listeners in the Gambia, Ghana, Liberia and Sierra Leone. This edition begins with Senegal because the National Vote Counting Commission has announced the provisional results of last Sunday's legislative elections. As expected, the ruling party, PASTEF, won decisively with 130 seats. The Liberal coalition, Takuwalu, led by former President Macky Sall, came in second place with 16 seats. Former Prime Minister Amadou Ba secured 7 seats, while the coalition led by Dakar Mayor Barthelemy Dias obtained 3 seats. Nadia Detiti has the details in this report.
The ruling party now controls 78% of the legislature, holding 130 of the 165 seats. It is followed by the Takuwalu Senegal coalition, led by Macky Sall with 16 seats. The Jamajerin coalition, headed by Amadou Ba, ranks third with 7 seats. The Samsa Kadu coalition, led by Mayor Barthelemy Dias, secured only 3 seats. Abdoulaye Ba, president of the National Vote Counting Commission, shared details about the proportional representation results.
African Patriots of Senegal for Work, Ethics and Fraternity PASTEF, 1,991,770 votes, representing 54.97%, wins 29 seats. Jam Ak Njarin Coalition, 330,865 votes, representing 9.13%, wins 5 seats. Sam Sakadu Coalition, 222,060 votes, representing 6.13%, wins 3 seats. Takuwalu Senegal Coalition, 531,466 votes, representing 14.27%, wins 8 seats.
In the majority vote covering Senegal's 46 departments and diaspora districts, the PASTEF party also came out on top. The Takuwalu Senegal coalition followed with 9 seats, while Amadou Ba's Jamajerin obtained 2 seats. Other political figures will also join the parliament. Opposition leader Alassane Sall has secured a seat, along with newcomers such as businessman Abdoulaye Sylla and the former director of Dakar's Center for University Works. They will take part in Senegal's 15th legislature.
Nadia Detiti with details of Demba Ama-An's report. In more electoral matters, the Independent Electoral Commission in Côte d'Ivoire has registered nearly 1.5 million voters on the electoral roll. The voter registration exercise ended last Sunday with over 12,000 registration centers opened across the country. The goal was to register a little over 4 million voters. Here is Bamba Siaka, 4th Vice President of the Independent Electoral Commission, speaking on the matter during a press conference on Thursday.
La catégorie 1, c'est-à-dire des personnes figurant sur la liste électorale,
Category 1 refers to individuals appearing on the electoral list who are requesting a change of voting location or modification of personal information. This includes 517,924 recurring cases. As for Category 2, it involves individuals requesting their first registration, totaling 943,157 recurring cases, bringing the total to 1,461,081 recurring cases, consisting of 794,544 men and 666,537 women. The statistics above are raw data and may be subject to change after processing. Regarding new voters, the raw data recorded, representing nearly a quarter of the expected new voter potential, are encouraging as they show a notable increase compared to the 2022-2023 electoral census data, where 575,489 new applicants were registered on the provisional electoral list.
Nouveaux requérants avaient été enregistrés sur la liste électorale provisoire.
Bamba Siakade is the fourth vice president of Côte d'Ivoire's Independent Electoral Commission. To legislative issues, in Liberia, the embattled speaker, J. Fonatri Kofa, is challenging the majority bloc in the country's Supreme Court after they declared his position vacant, thereby electing a new speaker amid legislative boycott. A reported number of 50 majority bloc lawmakers signed a petition to remove Speaker Kofa. The lawmakers say their decision followed due process, noting that the embattled speaker had been invited on 3 separate occasions to respond to accusations raised by 6 lawmakers, but he declined to appear before the body, which mandates a 2/3 vote to remove him from the position of speaker. From Monrovia, WADR's Grace Joshua reports.
Speaker Jonathan Kofa has taken his grievances to the Supreme Court of Liberia, accusing the majority bloc led by Deputy Speaker Tom Ofada of deliberately boycotting legislative section. He stated that this action has created a constitutional crisis, preventing the House of Representatives from fulfilling its mandated duties, including the passage of the national budget for 2025 fiscal year. The petition dated November 19, 2024 was filed by Speaker Kofa and members of the minority bloc. It alleged that the majority bloc has consistently refused to attend plenary, despite receiving formal invitation on multiple occasions. As evidence, the petition includes a notarized affidavit from the Sergeant-at-Arms of the House of Representatives confirming the absence of the majority bloc. In a controversial move today, the majority bloc elected Representative Rachel N. Kuhn of District Number 11, Masurado County, as the new Speaker of the House. This development has sparked widespread disappointment and fear among citizens. Many have called on the Supreme Court to declare the House of Representatives inactive amidst the ongoing impasses.
It doesn't help the country. These are a group of greedy people. They don't help the Liberian people. They make a whole lot of money and they don't impact the lives of the citizens. If I could suggest, we just dissolve the whole House of Representatives and divert all that money and desire to divert it into one county development funds.
For now, looking at what the House is carrying on, we are in a kind of a crisis, and this crisis, if only they continue with this, it means the country will be at a standstill.
They shouldn't be there for confusion. We don't want confusion among them. We want peace. If they are there for the Liberian people, we need peace.
For West Africa Democracy Radio, I'm Grace Joshua in Monrovia.
More stories coming up on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
We move into the Gambia, where the Navy patrol team has intercepted a suspected migration boat carrying about 90 people. The local wooden canoe is said to have departed from Senegal, transiting to the Gambia en route to Europe. The suspected migrants include Gambians, Senegalese, Guineans, and a Malian national. Our Banjul correspondent, Sankle Janko, has more in this report.
The boat was said to have departed from Joal in Senegal via the Gambia to pick up these suspected migrants at sea near Faraba in West Coast region of the Gambia. It was intercepted in the high seas within the Gambia's territorial waters by the Gambia Navy's high-speed boat called Sea Dog during its routine night security patrol recently. The would-be migrants were handed over to the Gambia Immigration Department. During a press conference on Thursday, the Public Relations Officer PRO of the Gambia Immigration Department, Inspector Siman Lo, provided more details.
On the 20th of November, somewhere around the Faraba Bantabolo, the Navy patrol team, as they were on their routine activities, were able to intercept a boat that had been at sea for almost about 20 good days. And migrants had been staying there, and they were looking for all efforts to have more migrants to join them in this particular boat. Now in this boat, we are able to have 91 suspected would-be migrants who were intercepted. Among these 91 would-be migrants, we are able to have 74 of them who are male, and then 12 of them are female.
According to the Immigration PRO, the people aboard the boat include nationals from various West African countries.
In this number again, we have 11 minors who are involved in this activity. Now it is also key for us to note that in this recent interception, 34 of them that were Gambians, 37 of them were Senegalese, 19 of them were Guineans, and then one of them was a Malian.
The intended migrants would be released to reunite with their families. The Gambia has been a departure and transit point for irregular migration. Hundreds of Gambians have died while attempting to travel to Europe irregularly, while many more are unaccounted for. For Newslink and West African Democracy Radio, I'm Sankule Jank reporting from Banjul.
Elsewhere, a Finnish district court in Pajat Hameen has ordered the detention of Simon Ekpa, a Nigerian separatist leader accused of spreading terrorism on social media. The ruling follows his arrest by the Finnish National Bureau of Investigation alongside 4 other individuals for alleged terrorism-related offences. Utsma Umra in Abuja tells us more in this report.
Since the arrest and detention of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB in 2021, Simon Ekpa, who identifies as the Prime Minister of the self-acclaimed Biafra Republic government in exile, has been actively spreading hate and terrorism-related messages against Nigerian people and government. He has been carrying out these activities in Finland. Nigerian government communicated these concerns to the Finnish government. In 2022, during an official engagement in Nigeria, the Finnish Minister of Foreign Affairs assured the Nigerian government that Simon Ekpa's matter was before the courts in Finland. Consequently, on Thursday, 21st November 2024, the police announced his arrest for allegedly inciting the public to carry out acts of terror. In a statement published on its website, Finland's Central Criminal Police confirmed the arrest, stating the primary suspect was detained on suspicion of public incitement to commit a crime with terrorist intent. The other 4 suspects are accused of financing-related activities. All 5 were apprehended earlier in the week. Osage Dixon, an anti-terrorism expert, shared his views on the development.
I wonder why it takes Finland this long to get him arrested, because when you look at the multiple international anti-terrorism signatory, Finland is a signatory to the International Anti-Terrorism Act, issued by the United Nations. And I'm so disappointed all this while he takes shelter or refuge from Finland and, instigating violence, criminal act, and an act of terrorism within the Nigerian confines. So for me, I think the Finland nation needs to repatriate him back to Nigeria to come and answer for his crime. His crime is not only against the Nigerian military, it's also against his own people.
Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff has welcomed the arrest with satisfaction and has called for Simon's prompt extradition to Nigeria to face charges. For Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, Usman Umar reporting from Abuja.
The threat of cybersecurity in West Africa continues to be a widespread challenge across the region. To address these challenges, the UNDP, through the Give One project in partnership with Concordia University, Canada, conducted an in-depth assessment of the state of cybersecurity in the region. The assessment report, titled Building Cybersecurity in West and Central Africa, was officially launched during a virtual event on Thursday in Senegal. Imo Edit reports.
Before the launch of the Cybersecurity Assessment Report, an extensive training program was conducted for a select group of young people from across the region to combat the growing threats of cybersecurity. Njoya Tikum, director of the UNDP Sub-Regional Hub for West and Central Africa, offers valuable insights into the current state of cybersecurity in the region.
The lack of standardized data protection laws across countries, I think, stands out to me as the first one. In some countries, I have to say, we're still using very outdated outdated frameworks that, if you look at it, cannot meet up with the emerging threats that we see happening in the cybersecurity space. And so the infrastructure is not yet constructed because the allocation of financial investment has not met up with the growth of the cyberspace.
Deliberations of the report highlight key areas such as cybersecurity and digital governance, women's digital rights, and online safety, with the focus on local and regional solutions to counter cybersecurity threats. Hawa Keita is a trainer at the Concordia University in Canada.
Unfortunately, with many situations, we've seen like certain scandals where actually many women are victim of gender-based violence, even through the internet, such as stalking or hate speech. So unfortunately, women are particularly vulnerable when it's, the having access to internet.
Meanwhile, some of the young beneficiaries of the cybersecurity training shared their knowledge, emphasizing the importance of this exercise.
My interest in this field sparked from seeing the rapid rise of cyber threats worldwide. This passion led me to participate in the 2023 is transforming the landscape of digital security.
There are still issues, but we hope that with the implication of government, things will be improved.
The UNDP, through the Give One project and in collaboration with Concordia University, will shortly begin a 5-year program that aims to train 25,000 youth, have given them to become young cybersecurity experts who will tackle the intersecting challenges of technology, security, and development across West and Central Africa.
Imo Edit fight that report. You are listening to Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Here is a reminder of the top stories. Ruling PASTEF secures 130 seats in provisional results of Senegal's parliamentary elections. Liberian House Speaker Kofa takes majority block to Supreme Court against his remover from office. The Gambia's Navy intercepts suspected migrant boat from Senegal with over 90 people on board to Europe. Finnish court detains Nigerian separatist leader Simon Ekpa over terrorism threats. Still ahead, we have the guest interview and sports news. Please stay with us.
Fresh and breaking news all the time. Hear it first as the news breaks, only on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
Many thanks for being there with us. As a reminder, we streaming live on YouTube at WADR News and on Facebook, WADR English Service. More than 800 million Africans are excluded from the digital economy, according to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNICA. At the 13th Africa Internet Governance Forum held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on Thursday, UNICAF Executive Secretary Clever Gatiti highlighted several challenges facing the continent's digital inclusion process. Oge Obiorika completes the story.
According to the UNECA Executive Secretary, nearly 500 million Africans lack recognized forms of identification, which limits their access to essential services and economic opportunities. This lack of digital identification exacerbates socio-economic inequality across the continent, with women representing only 24% of Africa's tech workforce, emphasizing the urgent need to address gender disparities in the digital sector. Gatete also address cybersecurity and data sovereignty as significant barriers to the development of secure and resilient digital ecosystems in Africa. Despite these challenges, he noted that countries like Kenya, Nigeria, and Egypt have made significant strides in tech startups and innovation, showcasing the continent's potential for transformative digital progress. The UNECA approaches the digital divide as a socio-economic issue, calling for bold, multidimensional interventions. The Commission's strategic priorities include bridging the digital divide through initiatives such as Connected African Girls, the World Robotics Olympiad, and digital public infrastructure.
Oge Obiorika with that report. In Ghana, the Opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) has expressed satisfaction with the directive from the Inspector General of Police that no firearms will be permitted at polling stations during the 2024 general elections, including those carried by security personnel. Speaking after police briefing with representatives from all political parties on security preparations for the upcoming elections, NDC's Director of Elections and IT, Edward Omani Boama, reiterated the party's commitment to working with security agencies. He added that the NDC anticipates significant support from security personnel during the special voting on December 7. He expressed belief that the IGP, as the Commander-in-Chief of the Election Security Task Force, will have sole authority to authorize any military intervention, which will be considered only as a last resort.
Politics, analysis on major news, social matters, and all. This is a guest.
Well, our guest this afternoon is Shamaki Peter, a regional security expert. He speaks about Ofinich Court in Hamin, which has ordered the detention of Simon Ekpa, a Nigerian separatist leader accused of spreading terrorist propaganda on social media.
So the conversation is that Simon Ekpa has been a major cause of worry, not only to the people in the southeastern part of Nigeria, but to the country as a whole. And I'm excited that finally he has been arrested for terrorist-associated charges. Because you cannot be a freedom fighter, you cannot be an activist, you cannot be someone that is speaking for the sake of others. Far away countries, several miles away, without feeling or knowing what the people go through, and you are inciting the public, inciting all manner of case and creating problems. That is not acceptable anywhere. And so I was one of those people that advocated in the past that he needs to be invited and picked over by international security agencies, because I think he's connected to a lot of groups that are creating problems not only in Nigeria but around the world. And I think it's a good development that has finally been picked up. If he so much believes in the struggle, he should come back to the country and be part of all of us to make Nigeria a better place. But you cannot sit in faraway country, in foreign land, and you are inciting and giving information that are not accurate, that has led to the killing and destruction of lives and property. I mean, no government will accept that, and no people will accept that. So I'm totally in support and excited to hear that he has finally been arrested.
However, sir, these are allegations that the court will have to prosecute. What do you make of the Nigerian government's interest into these allegations?
Well, I hope the Nigerian government will be able to provide sufficient document and evidence associating him with the incident we've been having in the Biafra land. Because recently, not too long ago, several security people have been killed, including local security individuals around the community. We've seen the unknown government attacking community chiefs, political office holders, shutting down schools, shutting down businesses because of some of his inciting comments. You cannot be agitating for a better country or agitating for your right, and then at the same time, you're shutting down places of education, denying students the right to go and sit for exams that will give them admission into higher colleges. I mean, that is uncalled for.
How do you weigh the two, the interests of the Nigerian government to have him extradited and tried in Nigeria and that of him being tried in Finland?
Well, I'm indifferent. The important thing is that we are asking for justice. If the justice can be gotten in Finland, so be it. If the justice will be gotten in Nigeria, then we have it. But what we're saying is that we don't need people like him to be roaming around streets freely, creating problems for people. I mean, such a person should not be encouraged, because if we allow such individuals to survive our society, they will create plenty of their kinds, and they create problems not only for the Nigerian government, but for other governments across the world. Let me make this point clearly. We are not against people agitating either for freedom or for secession or to have their own state. But such agitation must be done within the confines of the law, so that your own struggle do not lead to the killings and destruction or making life miserable for other people. That is not acceptable anywhere.
Shamaki Peter is a regional security expert. And here is Sankule Janko with sports.
Hello out there, a warm welcome and thank you for joining us. The Guinean Football Federation have lodged a formal complaint with the Confederation of African Football (CAF) on Thursday against Tanzania. The Guinean Football Federation alleged that Tanzania fielded an eligible player during their last 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against them. Guinea failed to secure qualification after a 1-0 defeat by Tanzania, finishing third in Group H behind DR Congo in first and Tanzania in second. Guinean officials claim that Tanzania fielded a player who wore jersey number 26 instead of number 24, which was the official registered number for the matchday squad. The said number on the jersey reportedly lacked a visible name, making it impossible to verify his identity. Guinea cited Article 50 of the CAF regulations, which mandates strict compliance with player registration, including matching jersey numbers and proper identification, according to media reports. As a result, the Guinean Football Federation are demanding that CAF declare them winners of the game they lost to Tanzania, which will secure them qualification to the 2025 Nations Cup at the expense of Tanzania. Elsewhere, Stephen Coker has stepped down as the captain of Sierra Leone national football team, the Leon Stars. The former Liverpool and Tottenham defender, who recently took the armband, decided to step down, citing he wasn't able to achieve Sierra Leone a qualification to the AFCON 2025. And Salima Mukanzanga, the person who made history as the first woman to referee a CAF Africa Cup of Nations game in Cameroon, is amongst the 3 people confirmed as assistants for Friday's CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations AFCON Morocco 2024. The draw will take place on Friday, 22nd November 2024 at the prestigious Mohammed VI Technical Center in Sal, Morocco. Fatih Lassarani, former Morocco international and former Banyana star of South Africa, and Dilemani are the other 2 assistants. And that's it for sports. It's back to you.
We've come to the end of this edition of Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal. Thank you for listening, and many thanks to Mustafa Sek and Maudo Ju for the technical support. Do interact with us via our social media platforms, X formerly Twitter, Instagram at WADR News, and on Facebook, WADR English Service. Coming up at the bottom of the hour is In the Sahel with Abdullahi Hassan. I am Augustine Cully. Good afternoon.
And many thanks to you for listening to Newslink via Hot 1